Which characters do you think will be getting a rerun in version 4.4? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's video. As always, all of the information covered here comes from a reliable source. But before we get into the main topic, running out of Stellar Jade and Honkai starrail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai starrail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, in the previous video, we talked about the various changes introduced in Beta 4.4 V2, including the fairly significant adjustments made to Himiko Nova and her signature light cone. Honestly, I was pretty surprised myself because this V2 update ended up bringing much more than the usual wording changes we're accustomed to seeing. If you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend checking it out first so you'll have a better understanding of where the new version 4.4 characters currently stand. For today's discussion, we're going to focus on the rerun characters scheduled for version 4.4. As we already know, this version will introduce 3 brand new characters, Himiko Nova as the main featured unit, along with Rin and Gilgamesh as part of the Fate Collaboration Part 2 banners. With 3 highly anticipated new characters arriving in a single patch, the question is, who will be accompanying them on the rerun side? And more importantly, are any of these rerun characters worth prioritizing? All of today's information comes from a single source, Seal Leaks. So let's get right into it. As usual, version 4.4 will be split into 2 phases, first half and second half. Each half will feature 3 rerun characters. Let's start with the first half. The first rerun character is Sparksy. She's the second Fire Elation character and was originally released in version 4.0 alongside Yaoguang. Since Yaoguang just received a rerun in version 4.3, it makes perfect sense for Sparksy to be next in line. For players who don't own her yet and want to complete their elation teams, especially those who already have Silver Wolf 999 as their primary elation DPS, version 4.4 could be an excellent opportunity to pick up Sparksy. The second rerun character is Dan Hung PT. He's a unique preservation character with the ability to summon a summons for a selected ally. Although every player received him for free back in version 3.6, Dan Hung PT remains one of the strongest and most meta-sustain units in the game even today. Version 4.4 will also mark his very first rerun since his original release. So if you somehow missed claiming him for free, or if you're looking to grab additional Eidolons, this will be your chance. The third rerun character in the first half is Evernight. She's an Ice Remembrance character who originally debuted in version 3.6 alongside Dan Hung PT. Version 4.4 will be her second rerun after previously returning in version 4.0. Even now, Evernight remains one of the strongest characters in the game, particularly within full remembrance teams, which continue to be among the strongest archetypes available despite the current dominance of the elation meta. If you're still working toward completing an optimal remembrance roster, Evernight's return in the first half is definitely something worth considering. Now let's move on to the second half, which is just as interesting. The first rerun character in the second half is Anaxa. He's a Wind Air Edition character who originally released in version 3.4 as one of the anniversary units. Version 4.4 will be his second rerun after previously returning in version 3.6. To be completely honest, I personally haven't used Anaxa very much lately. especially since I now have a fully built elation team that performs significantly better than my evanescia setups. I simply don't find myself using him as often anymore. The second rerun character is Aventurin. He's the second limited preservation character in Honkai Star Rail after Fu Shen and originally debuted alongside Acheron during the version 2.1 anniversary. Version 4.4 will mark his second rerun following his previous appearance in version 2.6. Performance-wise, Aventurin is still a very solid sustain option, particularly in content where enemies frequently use AoE attacks. Those AoE hits continuously trigger Aventurin's follow-up attacks while also refreshing shields for the entire team, making him extremely comfortable to use. The third and final rerun character is Jade. She's a Quantum Erudition sub-DPS who first debuted in version 2.3 alongside Firefly. Version 4.4 will be her second rerun after previously returning in version 3.0. One important thing to note about Jade is that she can't really be considered a top-tier meta character right now. Part of the reason is that even the DPS units that synergize best with her aren't particularly dominant in the current meta. Interestingly enough, Jade's appearance in these rerun leaks was actually teased by Mortis some time ago. Mortis jokingly asked whether anyone still remembered Jade before mentioning that more than 400 days had passed since her last rerun. Looking at the overall version 4.4 banner lineup, there are definitely some interesting patterns worth pointing out. Out of the 6 rerun characters, 4 of them are receiving their second reruns: Evernight, evanescia, Aventurin, and Jade. Meanwhile, Sparksy and Dan Hung PT are both receiving their first reruns. And honestly, Dan Hung PT's return is especially important because he could end up being a very valuable partner for Himiko Nova. Overall, version 4.4 is shaping up to be an incredibly packed patch. With 3 new characters and 6 rerun characters appearing in the same version, this could easily become one of the most stellar Jade draining patches we've seen in quite some time. So what do you think about the version 4.4 rerun lineup? Are any of these rerun characters a priority for you? Or have you already dedicated every single stellar Jade to Himiko Nova and the Fate collaboration banners? Feel free to share your thoughts, pull plans, and saving strategies in the comments below. And with that, we've reached the end of today's discussion. Thank you all so much for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow Honkai Star Rail players so they can stay up to date with the latest information as well. As always, your support through likes and subscriptions means a lot and helps the channel continue bringing informative content in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next discussion.